Welcome back to America's Voice Live. Now, according to the latest polls by the New York Times Siena, former President Donald Trump has rebounded in 3 key swing states. It's very important, and it's more of the trend that we're seeing. The former president, according to this A-plus poll, leads in Arizona by 5, 4 in Georgia, 2 in North Carolina. By the way, North Carolina's gone for President Trump 2 cycles in a row. Do not expect that to change. And so that brings Arizona and Georgia into line, right? It's a major uptick from the pollsters' last surveys, which were taken in late August and had Harris up 5 in Arizona, 2 in North Carolina. Georgia is about the same as it was. It's a lot of movement in a month. Shows that Harris is losing momentum. That's why she's begging for another debate. There's no other way to put it. Here to discuss this from the McLaughlin Associates Polls is Jim McLaughlin. Jim, thank you for coming on.
Great to be here, Steve.
You know, another bit of polling that I think is maybe even more important than that, I want you to weigh in on this. Brand new polling from Gallup. For the first time in my life, how do you identify, Republican or Democrat? I've never seen this, Jim. I know you've seen this poll. Republicans 48%, Democrats 45%. In my life on this planet, Jim, Democrats have always had more people in the voting public. Apparently that's changing. And if that's true, Jim, if it's 48-45 Republicans and people identifying as Republicans over Democrats, it's game over, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's what it is, because in a lot of these, the reason why a lot of these battleground states are battleground states is because the party registration is pretty much even. But, you know, it's what you've seen with Donald Trump over the years. Nobody does a better job of turning out Republican conservative voters than Donald Trump. And what that Gallup poll shows is you now have more Americans that are identifying as Republicans that are saying that they're Democrats. And the reason for that is twofold. One, Donald Trump has given the American voters a positive agenda for the future, and they know he had a successful presidency, and they're looking forward to 4 more years of that success under Donald Trump. And then they look at the failures of Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. I mean, we all know they've broken the economy, they've broken the border, and now we have World War III breaking out throughout the world.
Yeah, we stand on the precipice of a dangerous, dangerous war, a wider war in the Middle East. And if Ukraine starts lobbing missiles into the heart of Russia, well, all bets are off then too, Jim. You're exactly right. So what are you hearing out there? I mean, I see that Gallup poll is important. It's instructive. More people identify as Republicans now than Democrats. Again, first time in my lifetime. And the second question on their poll, there's 10 things there. They said 8 of them favored Republicans. 2 of them were tied. Democrats didn't lead in any of them. The second one, who is most prepared to take on the issue you care about most? Republicans won that walking away as well. So if you look at maybe the number one issue for somebody is Bidenomics and what's happening with their wallet. Maybe it's the border. So it's the economy, it's the border. Republicans are winning both of these by a wide margin. So I don't see how this election goes any other way. Maybe I'm just seeing the world through rose-colored glasses, but I don't think so, Jim.
Look, and Steve, I've been telling people, I think this is going to be a lot of similar to what happened with Ronald Reagan, where the polls showed it really, really close, and which is what we're seeing now. But as the voters as we got closer and closer to Election Day, the voters saw the failures just like they saw back in Jimmy Carter back in the day. Now they see those same failures in Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. And they look, just as you pointed out, on that's a very important question, on the issues that you care about most. And we know what the voters care about most. They care the most about inflation. They care the most about immigration. They care the most about the border. They care about crime, and they care about national security. On all those issues, Donald Trump doesn't have little advantages over Kamala Harris. He's got big advantages over Kamala Harris. And you know what the interesting part is? The 2 probably most important issues that voters will tell you right now, they'll tell you that it's inflation and they'll tell you it's the border. You know what? 4 years ago, the exit pollsters didn't even ask about those 2 issues. You know why? Because Donald Trump had solved the problem of immigration and inflation.
Yeah, you know, I want to touch on 2 more things that I'm seeing, and I'll let you close this out with this, Jim. Hispanic voters. Donald Trump has picked up 14 points from where he was in 2020 with Hispanic voters, 9 points with black voters. A lot of that coming from black men who are like, look, we're done here with this whole Democrat idea. Again, any one of these things taken by itself, Republicans ahead of Democrats in identity, 48-45, the strong support for Republicans for the economy and the border, or the fact that Hispanics are joining the Trump effort and black voters are joining the Trump effort, any of those things by themselves would indicate a big night for Donald Trump in November. These things cumulative. I'm sorry, I don't believe CBS or NBC when they say Kamala Harris is leading by 5-6 points. No, that's garbage. I'll give you the last word.
Good luck. And what's happening in polls like that, in the CBS and the NBC poll, just like their news coverage is biased, so are their polls. They undersample Republicans. And your point, Steve, you're exactly right. The reason why Donald Trump has a decisive lead right now in Arizona, the reason why he's ahead in Nevada, is because of those all-important Hispanic voters. We're seeing in a lot of these surveys that Donald Trump is either tied or actually ahead among Hispanic voters. He is going to get a record Republican percentage of the Hispanic vote.
Well, we'll see. Jim McLaughlin from the McLaughlin Polling Company. I greatly appreciate you being here, sir. It's nice to have truth to sift out all the other nonsense. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.